Hey Danielle, how are you? Thank you for joining me on this evening. We're just waiting for the others to come in. I think we got an awesome topic. I'm glad you're here. Alrighty. Hello there, Narish. As others come in, we have a hot topic to talk about. And the hot topic we're going to talk about is how narcissists ignore boundaries. How narcissists ignore boundaries. This is going to be our topic for this evening. The disrespecting of boundaries. This is going to be beautiful. Oh my God. All righty. So we're just going to start some elaboration while the others begin to come on in and participate in this fiery topic. If you've ever been with a narcissist, you know narcissists hate boundaries. They will not follow boundaries, and they always remove the goalpost, and they want you to remove the goalpost. When you set a standard, when you have boundaries, you have to keep those boundaries, no matter how they don't want. Okay, so Danielle, I know that you're pretty busy because we've already got them coming in the room. So we can rock and roll. Eliezer, hello there. How are you? Thank you so much for joining us on this evening. We are talking about boundaries, how the narcissists ignore boundaries. And it doesn't matter how you tell them that you're going to enforce those boundaries. They would try those boundaries just to see if you enforce those boundaries. They would try those boundaries just to see if you will compromise your standard. Because what you say are boundaries, they remove them just to see if you would ignore them, to see will you stand by that, because the narcissist is going to pressure you to remove those boundaries. Why? Because they're boundaries. They can have no significance. It's because you told them no. And a narcissist feel you never tell them no. You never tell them they can't. You never tell them don't. No is not an answer that you give to the narcissist. Okay, we got them coming in. Good morning. Okay, there you go. All right. And so the problem that most people have with narcissists are boundaries. Most of the relationship, and sometimes the narcissist does things just to let you know you're not in charge, just to let you know I'm my own person, just to let you know you would never, ever control me. So, uh, boy, we got them coming on here today. And so the narcissist will remove those goalposts. Now, Every time those boundaries are compromised, a level of frustration is engaged. A levels on your side, you're frustrated, you're agitated. You can even be angry because you're saying there's no way you did not understand what I was saying. Enough is enough. And he comes up to the line again. If you draw the line, he comes up to the line and he steps over the line. Now, what are you going to do when the narcissist disrespect your boundaries? What do you do when the narcissist disrespect your boundaries? This is going to be our conversation piece tonight. Because if you have been with the narcissist over 12 hours, well, let's give it a little bit long, over a week, then you already know what that's like. The narcissist will tell you, I'll be there at 6. Some of them are very prompt. They're very on time for the first 6 to 12 weeks. And most of the time after that, they usually can't hold out. They usually can't change after that because the truth come out in the way they are. And they could try to disguise themselves, but most of them can't hold beyond 12 weeks. That's why they said the love bombing stage is between 12 weeks. I know some that last up to 6 months. And then there are some that last a year, but there was failure, there was cognizant dissonance, there was boundaries kept being disrespected in that time, and excuses was given. They made up every excuse in the world why they forgave them. They made up every excuse in the world. Well, maybe they didn't know what I said. Maybe you didn't know what I said. And so they will make up excuses. Why? Because the love bombing was so fantabulous. It's like I finally found somebody that I can rest with, that I can care with. But you may not have found anybody that you can rest with, that you can care with. Why? Because the narcissist during the love bomb stage, that is the most fictitious stage there is, because they have a mask and they're not going to let you know who they are. They're not going to. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about boundaries, which are ignored. Let's talk about boundaries, which are not governed. Let's talk about boundaries, which you compromise. And when you compromise those boundaries, you compromise your sanity, you're going to compromise your stability, you're going to compromise your strength, because when you compromise in the relationship, it gives the narcissist to take it to the next level. And the next level, South Africa, and the next level is a level of shame, degradation, because you got the love bombing, and then you're going to have to go to the stage where these red flags are raised. They're going to throw something out there at you, and what they throw out at you, it almost confuses the mind, because you are wondering, did they just say that? Did they just do that? Nah. Surely they didn't just do that. They did. They just did that. And what you saw, you saw. But they're not going to tell you that. Why? They can't. Why? Because they're going to gaslight you. And gaslighting, you talking about pushing boundaries? Gaslight, if you don't understand and recognize what they're doing through gaslighting you, it's going to push you over the edge, because gaslighting is meant for your insanity. It's meant for you to feel that you're losing your grip, you're losing your mind, you're losing your structure, you're losing your focus. And when you start self-doubting, that's when the trouble starts to immerse. When you start self-doubting, that's when trouble starts to come into play. So boundaries. You say, well, why are boundaries if they're not going to obey them anyway? Because you need them. You need boundaries for you. Doesn't matter if they don't get it. You need those boundaries for yourself. And the stronger the boundaries, the more steady the boundaries, the more consistent the boundaries, the more strength you keep. Because the longer you are in that relationship, it's going to test every part of you. It's going to test you totally. It's going to test your mind, your dream, your strength. It's going to test your ability, your skill. It's going to test your parenting. It's going to test the relationship itself. It's going to test you with your family, you with your friends, even you with an animal. It will test every part of you because the narcissists want every part of you. The narcissists do not want to share you. And if they want to share you, it's to get you around people so they can interject themselves. That is the exposure. They want the exposure. And when you get them around your friends, you set up boundaries. This is what I don't want you to do. You know, you holding her hand. That is not good for you because it's not good for me. And they tell you, I was just being nice. I was just being cordial. Yeah, but you're going over boundaries. You're crossing boundaries. Why would you get her number? She gave it to me. I thought she wanted to talk to me. And then you ask your friend, why would you give him your number? Because he told me that he was taking the number to you because I got a new phone. I got a new phone. So he asked for my phone number. I said, yeah, I got a new phone. Could you take this to your wife? I didn't know he was going to use it. And you like, girl, you didn't have sense enough to come right over to the room, right across the way, and give it to me. I'm right in the same room where you are. And you know the narcissist's intent. But he got that number. And he very well planned to use that number. You're saying, I don't understand. No, you don't understand the situationship. But if you go back and listen to several videos that I've done, Dr. Carmen Bryant, Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. We got Karen that is online. We have the T on NPD online. Cluster B Free Karen online. When you look at these videos, there's enough scenarios until finally answers come. Then you understand your travel mode. You understand the traffic that is headed in your life. You understand the travel mode. You understand the expectation. I have to be stronger. I'm going to have to build myself up because he or she is crossing every boundary that I put up. They're disrespecting these boundaries. We have Sagittarius Goddess said that is so true. Yeah, they don't respect boundary. And it doesn't matter how plain you make it. They deliberately don't respect it. Can you imagine with disrespecting boundaries for 10 years, 15 years, 30 years, 40 years? If you have disrespected boundaries for that long of time, how do you think your self-esteem is going to be? It's going to be tore up. It's going to be jacked up. Your self-worth in 40 years of devaluation, can you imagine how you are tore down? All of your ideas, give them an idea. The boundary is you can't succeed. The narcissist has to succeed. And then when you succeed, the narcissist take credit. If I wasn't here, if I didn't do that for you, if I hadn't put my hand into it, if I didn't keep the kids, they would not allow you to enjoy any promotion without them. And Sagittarius said, oh, that is so true. So let's continue because many of you are thinking, well, I'll be able to change them. She said boundaries are necessary to keep the narcissist at bay. A narc will never respect your right to have boundaries and that block their manipulation. Oh, that's so good. That is so true. They will not. And they are master manipulators. They take a forum and they blast their forum with themselves, their accomplishment, and it could be in your job. They're promoting you. That the ceremony was to value you. The ceremony was to celebrate you. And the whole time, the narcissist is talking about what they did. The whole time, the narcissist is talking about what they accomplished. She's a right to have boundaries. Yeah, absolutely. The whole time. The narcissist is going to tell you anything that's going to advantage them. And they've studied you enough to know what you like. And what they want to do, if you're celebrating a promotion, they're going to make sure you are thoroughly agitated. They're going to make sure that everything that was good for you go wrong. They're going to be late for the ceremony. If a person they're supposed to pick up, they're not going to pick up. She said, try being married to a narc police officer for 21 years. Ooh, I can imagine how that is. And the thing is, when it's usually a situation like that, other people cover them. Other people support them. And they're thinking something wrong with you instead of something wrong with them. Can I ask a question? What is your question? Can Danielle Knight, please type your question. Absolutely. And especially if you have children, you want the kids to go to bed at 8 o'clock because they got to get up at 6 o'clock. And you know what? The narcissist will give them permission to stay up till 9 o'clock. And then they will word salad you why the kids should be able to stay up to 9 o'clock. And then you are up to 12 o'clock trying to rationalize with them. And you got to get up at 5. She said, Madam, this guy named... Thank you. And see, it's just like if it's certain professional fields that have narcissists involved in it, they have a brotherhood that protects them. And most people, and they can know, a narc group of narcissists know what they're capable of. And at this time, pretty much know who they are. But they're going to support each other and leave you out. And see, now what has happened, narcissists know that they are out there and that people know about them. So what they do is strengthen themselves with other narcissists. Have a club with other narcissists. They strengthen those traits. They're not going to keep boundaries. And they make sure they strengthen the other narcissists to break those boundaries, to delete those boundaries, to test those boundaries on a continual basis. Because testing those boundaries, deleting those boundaries, contending with those boundaries mean they are in control. Thank you for talking about this. Still married, but I had to set very strict boundaries. Oh, of course. So how are those boundaries? Do you find that they deliberately disengage those boundaries? They don't follow those boundaries? Because a narcissist refuses to be controlled. And to them, violating your boundaries means they are still in control. Not violating your boundaries means they're not in control. CJC, oh yeah. I would like to hear from you how that is working. Because a narcissist is not easy to live with. Because you never know the day. You never know what you say is going to set them off. He said they get tested daily, but I don't budge. Good, good. And the thing is, when you're with a narcissist and they can't get their way, next thing you know, they either ghost you or discard. They ghost or discard. CJC said, doesn't matter. I keep them. And see, that's the strength of you. How long have you been married to them? CJC, how long have you been married? How long have you been married to the narcissist? Have to go, but thank you for bringing awareness. You are so welcome. You are so welcome. And see, one thing the narcissist does, which Danielle said, 27 years. Oh, well. Ooh, you got an interesting testimony. CJC, meet me on a Tuesday morning at 7:45 Pacific Standard Time on Clubhouse. Just look for Destiny Helper House on Clubhouse. It would be good to hear you there. We have an audio where we can hear your voice. I would love to hear your testimony. I have a cousin is a narcissist, but he doesn't go outside. So me and my mom are his only friends. He is very unpredictable with emotions, and he only knows how to solve anger with violence. That sounds about right. I'll do my best to be there. Thank you, CJC. Well, if they go outside, they have no other interaction. Your house is always in a turmoil because you're the only people they're dealing with. Can you imagine somebody there and the only two people he has to manipulate, two people he has to make angry? So he's homeschooled. How old is he? That's what I said too, Jammer 2.0. How old is he that he don't leave the house and he's homeschooled? How old is he? 17. Ooh. Do you get counseling for him? Do he get counseling? Any kind of counselor? Because you got some counselor can do video visits where they can go on video. If they don't want to come out, the counselor will meet them on video and do all their procedures video based. No, you may need to get him some counseling. You may need to think about that. Get a counselor that would do video based. Since he won't go outside, he won't go to the counselor, bring the counselor to him through video, because it still can happen. And at 17 years old, you want to catch that early, because as they grow older, it gets worse. She said, I would try, but I'm not making it in position to recommend it. Because as he get older, it's going to get worse. He's going to get stronger in the manipulation. He's going to get stronger in breaking those boundaries and disrespecting those boundaries. And so if y'all the only two that they can interact with, then you're the two that's going to have the problem, because they really need counseling. Find out the root cause, because something happened. Find out what happened that caused them to get in this state. Because if not, you all going to be living a living hell. They're old enough to stay home by themselves, but can you leave them by themselves? Can you leave them at home by themselves? Daniel said, his mother knows, but his mother doesn't seem to care. Okay, that may be an answer why he's in the situation he's in. Something has to happen. Something has to happen. Come on now. He is a child still. He is almost 17 years old, but he's still a minor. And he needs to be cared for. And you got to find out the root cause, because he can cause hell in that house. It'll be like a tornado that went through there, because no boundaries you set are going to be respected. Absolutely none of them. And it's unfortunate that his mother won't get involved, because a narcissist have hidden behind in themselves for so long until they don't come out. You see what I'm saying? So what you have to do is get some video counseling. If you are a relative, see if you can't interject that. Hey, Jesus, Betty. Hey, Jesus girl, Betty, how are you? It's been a while. It's good to see you. She said he has a twin brother and a younger sister. His family is basically in shambles, and that is the cause, I'm pretty sure. Wow. So what part do you play in the family? Are you an aunt or a cousin? His mother is one of those who sit back and watch as if he isn't even her kid. Wow. Well, I'm sure he feels that denial. And when you feel like abandoned in open sight, rejected in open sight, that makes you angry. So she's going to be dealing with a lot of anger issues from him. She said, I'm a cousin. Wow. Do you live in the same house, or do you live in a different house? Do you live in the same house? Do you live in a different house? Wow, that is very notable. That is very notable. Do the young man have some other issues going on, or you just think it's narcissism? We live in the same neighborhood. Okay. So what happened can affect you. Yeah, we're on the 30-minute mark. We have 30 more minutes. Wow. So how does this affect you, Daniel? How does this affect you being in close proximity where you see it happen? And then do you feel helpless? Do you feel like there's anything that you can do? Hello there, Jesus Betty. Girl, how are you? We are talking about when the narcissists disrespect boundaries, when they don't give way to boundaries, when they don't care about boundaries. And Jesus girl, Betty, you understand that, because a narcissist, he's not going to care anything about your boundaries. If you set him up, he's going to just violate those boundaries. And like Daniel said, the anger that is emitted and what you're going through, she said, I'm great. How are you? It's good to catch you. I'm glad you caught me too. It has affected me before. One time he took his anger out on me physically. Ooh, that's no good. Have you ever tried to report the situation so he can get some help? Or you just stand back and just hands off? Because he's 17, and as he get older, it's going to get worse. It's not going to get better. Because if he fight you, he go out, he'll probably fight somebody else. And he can actually get hurt, because he's a young man that needs to be governed and cared for. He's a young man that needs a therapist to see what is the psychological breach that is causing all of this anger, that is causing all this frustration. And if he don't go out, you know, is he obese? Is he maintaining his weight? And then he's homeschooled. And if she don't take the time to do the assignment that she needs to do, his education can even be compromised. And he's getting older. He'll go out there on the streets and go out in the world, and he's unproductive. He's unproductive because he was over shield and she overcompensated for him. He currently has a court case with his own brother because he beat his own brother and his brother called the cops. So he have a domestic violence case. Do the mother understand what they can have significantly against her? Because he's still a minor. The state can still come in and take him. You know what I'm saying? And then keep him till he's 18 up to 21. And then he goes out on the street again or she comes to get him. But if they take him away from her, they're not going to give him back to her. They're not going to give him back to her because they will consider her as unfit. Danielle, scroll up for Daniel's other comments. I'm just a kid, so I can't do much. Oh, Daniel, so how old are you? She said, yes, they have no respect and they will walk all over you. Yep, if you let him. He makes me extremely uncomfortable. He talks about topics that aren't appropriate for our ages and other stuff like that. Do you trust being in the same room as him? You're 14. Oh, you sweetheart. Daniel, if you can, maybe you should not be alone with him because it may not be a safe space. If you feel that it's not a safe space, I want you to listen to your wisdom, listen to your heart, because inside of you, you know whether something is safe because you get this funny feeling that you need to leave. Daniel said, no, I don't feel safe with him, but my mom lets him come over too often. He even came to our house without permission the other week. Wow. They sure don't respect boundaries. I've had a restraining order placed on him, and when he's assaulted me for hours and would let me leave. New Supply bailed him out of jail, and he called me from her phone. I shake my head. There is a domestic hotline that you can call because once they start fighting you, they can say, I'm sorry, but it's usually an ongoing situation. And for your safety, you may need to reconsider domestic violence. Let me see here. Domestic violence. There is a universal number. It's 1-800. Can you put this up for me, Danielle? It's 1-800-799-7233. 1-800-799-7233. Now, when you go to get help and they tell you things, you cannot let the narcissist know you know, because the most dangerous time is when you leave and when you come back. National Domestic Violence Hotline, 1-800-799-7233. So consider that. Broken Chrysalis said, they sure don't respect boundaries. I had a restraining order placed when he assaulted me for hours and wouldn't let me leave. She said the New Supply bailed him out and he called me. See, that right there. And once you tell them of the situation, they're going to give you instruction. Follow those instructions. The one thing they say, don't talk to the narcissist beyond what the information they give you. And then when they help you out, they will not tell people where you are. because you can't keep getting beat like a child. That is dangerous, very dangerous. So you have to protect yourself. You're going to have to protect yourself. Come on. We are on the 15-minute mark. So we're talking about you protecting yourself, you keeping yourself, and Broken Chrysalis says, I had the state pick up that case. He plead guilty. I pray for God to guide me, and he put everything into place for me. Do you still live with him? Broken Chrysalis, do you still live with him? Yeah, 15 minutes, absolutely. Do you still live with him? And Daniel, what do you think you can do as a protective measure? Do you think that that he will violate you? I'm going to go to bed now. It's about 2 a.m. Good night. And thank you for talking with me. It really helped me to get that out. Thank you for your advice. Thank you, Daniel. And thank you so much for being with us. Make sure you're following me. And anytime I come on, I will pop up in an alert. And you will know that I'm there. Thank you so much, Daniel. Good night, son. Wow. Been no contact for over a year. Good. Good. Don't break it. Don't violate it. Don't call him. Don't go on social media. Don't do nothing, because a narcissist think once you're theirs, you're always there. Once mine, always mine. Remember that. That's the way they think. Once mine, always mine. That's not true. And they don't care about you marrying or starting another family. When the narcissists want what they want what they want. And it doesn't matter if you don't want it. It doesn't matter. Because the narcissists think you always want them. So when you go back to them, it is worse. It's hell to pay. Let me tell you that. It's hell to pay. When the narcissists think that you're going to devalue them, you can't put up a stop boundary. You can't put up a stop sign. You can't put up a yield sign. You can't put up a sign and say, let me think about it. The narcissist said, no, I think about it. You don't think about it. You just do. You do what I tell you to do. And when that doesn't happen, they're going to gaslight the situation. They're going to acclimate it with gaslighting. They're going to bring confusion and devastation. She said, you are property to the narc. They walk all over you like a piece of land. Absolutely. They have no other thought. Broken Gonzalez said, I've been no contact for a year. But you see, that don't stop the narcissists. When they want something, they come right back into play. It can be supervised visit. They will show up without supervision and expect for you to open the door, expect for you to let the children come. Supervised visits mean they can visit without supervision, so they don't get the kids. Don't give them the kids, no matter what they offer the kids, no matter what they promise the kids. And then a lot of times they will teach the kids against you so they can be the favorite parent. And there's always some interjection, always some division, always something that is in between you and the child. When they go with the narcissist, they come back, they're angry. They come back, they don't understand. They come back, they're confused. They come back and think you're the mean person and the dad is the good person. Every time they come back, there's some form of division. But that's what the narcissists do. That's what they specialize in. That's why they disrespect boundaries. They don't care about boundaries. They don't. And they don't care if you put them up. They do not care. The narcissist is basically selfish. Boundaries is like a baby. Have you ever told a baby you cannot have that toy? And the baby cries, 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 and kick and scream. And guess what? They don't stop till they get that toy. They don't stop till that toy is in their hand. When you're not looking, they get that toy. Their mind is one track minded. Get the toy that mom don't want me to have, that dad don't want me to have. And all of their energy start building a halo around their desire, around their intent. And their intent is to get that toy at any cost. No matter how angry you are, I'm going to get that toy. Mine, my toy. Your boundaries is just like that child. I'm not going to get your boundaries. I'm not going to respect your boundaries. You can't stop me from. And whatever those boundaries are protecting, I can have it. It's mine. I have a right to it. And you're saying to yourself, what? You're acting like one of the kids. Hey, worse than one of the kids. Boundaries create a safe place of protection, which is the nemesis of the narc. Oh, absolutely. They don't want protection. They don't want you protected. And when the narcissist can't get you, he wants to function because he wants to bring your inner core. He wants to bring your family. He wants to bring your friends. Then he wants to put on this charming face that loves the friends. Wonderful. Serve them. And then he looked like the perfect guy. She looked like the perfect woman. And the whole time it's evil. It's evil. There's no protection. There's no shield from the narcissist when they're focused on having their way. You become a target. They're like a black bear. When a black bear comes after you, he don't want that one. He wants you. And when that one get in the way, he only attacking that one to get them out of the way. But the black bear want the scent, that the original scent that he got. And the original scent was your scent. And he does not stop. You have to kill that bear. Thank you so much, Kobe. Okay, y'all. We are on the countdown time. Danielle, we are counting down. If you have any other question, ask your question because we are on the countdown. We only have seconds left and I will answer any question that you have. And then we'll come back next week with part 2. We'll come back with part 2. The narcissist does not respect boundaries. We will find out what that is. We will find out why that is. We will find out, what do you do? What if those boundaries have been disrespected and has caused dissension in family, has caused dissension on your job? Your mind is not at peace. Your whole body is discombobulated. The atmosphere is in a state of confusion, all because the narcissist will not respect boundaries. You can write me at destinyhelper12s@gmail.com. destinyhelper12s@gmail.com. Yes, make sure you just subscribe, and every time I come on, you will get an alert. And I would love to answer your question. destinyhelper12s@gmail.com. Thank you for your videos. Really helped me to stay no contact forever. God bless you. You are so welcome. destinyhelper12s@gmail.com. All right, everybody. I appreciate this hour being with you. I'm looking forward to seeing you on next Wednesday. Remember, I do Bible study, and then right after Bible study, 15 minutes later, I'm right here for you 1 hour. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for being with me. Thank you so much, Kobe. Thank you for coming on. God bless you, Danielle, and all of you that came on tonight. God bless you. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.